Hello, this is Roy Mitchell from the 580 Club with cameraman Ken and special guest Harold Eastman. Before we start, we just want you to know there was a big protest this morning. The gnomes walked in, the gnomes scared the council, they ran into the kitchen, they stayed there, the gnomes did all their talking and explained why it was so important for the council to address the water rate issues, what's happening in this community, and Harold was there. Harold, tell me a little bit of what you gnomes want.
Well, we want the water rates to be rolled back. About a year ago, there was an increase, cumulative increase or total increase of about 53% in both sewer and water, and that's just not manageable for the percentage of the population in town here that lives at the Ontario poverty measure, under the poverty line.
And that would impact the businesses, that would impact the people, that would impact so many things that happen in this town, right? That's like a large chunk.
Yeah.
Right. And people might want to know before we even start, what are gnomes? What are the gnomes?
The gnomes are the Gnomes for Justice and Social Equality. We were created about a year and a half ago to respond to the hydro rates. And you know what? The provincial government responded. The municipal government has not responded to the water rate crisis. So good on the province, I would say, on the hydro thing, not so good on the municipality.
And one thing is, this is quite complicated, right? It's done by businesses, it's done by government, it's done different levels. And so we're going to post links for people underneath that they can read up about what the gnomes are doing, what their causes are, and what they see as some of the solutions that could happen with this crisis. Now, Harold, another thing, you wear several hats in this community, and one of them, I'm going to ask you to take off your gnome hat now and become the marriage counselor that you are. Long time married to the lovely Diane Eastman in a heteronormative relationship. Yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
All right.
It's good to know.
Good to know. And so one thing we wanted to sort of talk about this unity, this, amalgamation, this marriage between the Hastings Highlands Library and the Bancroft Library, and if it makes sense. And I'm just going to paint a picture for you, and I'd like to have your feedback.
I can offer my opinion.
Okay, the Hastings Highlands Library, and she prefers to be called she. That's her pronoun of choice. She said that she had a rough time, a little bit of tension up there. Somebody left,
I'm sorry, Roy. Who are we talking about?
Hastings Highlands Library.
Oh, library.
The library.
Okay. All right. Yes.
And she, her finances are in good shape. She had some problems, and now she's actually okay. She's going to be more accountable and everything like that. Her money's good, and and she just a bit of a breakup there. Kim McMahon, the CEO, ran away and left us a little bit of mess. But now she ran to the arms of Bancroft Library, so she's like a serial monogamist, basically, library to library to library. Anyway, we're going to put her up on the what WTF shelf, and we're going to talk about other things. And so, Harold. So you have the Bancroft Library that is drowning in debt, and the Hastings Highlands Library that isn't, and actually financially okay. Is that a good marriage connection?
No.
Okay, another thing. Equity. You have women at the library in Bancroft being paid, basically close to minimum wage, the new minimum wage, thank God. And they have 40 years experience, and there's been no effort from the library to up that. What do you think of that?
Not good.
Not good. Thank you, Harold. I mean, you're very good at this. And also another thing is equity. Equity. That library is really hard to get into in Bancroft. The Hastings Highlands Library has a beautiful fireplace. You can go in there with anything, mobility issues, and there's been no interest in really changing that library in Bancroft. It's a bit of embarrassment. It's the only library in Southern Ontario that's inaccessible. Now, would an accessible library and an inaccessible library that has no interest in actually being accessible, is that a good match?
No.
No. Also, this girl, she's been surrounded by a lot of friends. Let's call them the board. Now, this whole idea for the new library system would be to have only 2 members of the board. Oh,
I just wondered if they were coming.
No.
Okay, good.
No. So, is it good to have, your friends removed? Because if the new library system happens, they get married, you'll lose the number of board members, and there'll be only 2 board members from our community on the board.
Bad marriage idea.
You don't remove a gal's friends, right? So you just got to wonder, why is this good, this marriage? I'm thinking, it might work if Bancroft had actually an idea of how to actually be accessible, get their money together, and then propose to Hastings Highlands Library. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot happening. Kim McMunn is here from the Bancroft Library. She's working there now. She's working there. I didn't see any posting for that job, but she went from that job to that job. I don't know. A lot of girls are going like, hey, why not me? Why didn't I get that job? But anyway, that's on the WTF show. So in all the information I've given you, and there's a lot more, do you think it's a good idea for the Hastings Highlands Library, financially stable, got some girlfriends there, and actually is equitable and accessible, to marry, to unify, to amalgamate with Bancroft, this dude, basically, drowning in debt, inaccessible, not really interested in equity? Should they get married?
Not going to work.
Not going to work. All right, so talk all you want, people, but it's bad. So there's some. Thank you, Harold, for your expertise.
So welcome.
And your activism, and thank you. And thank you for watching. And what do you think, people? Tell us what you think. Should the libraries get married? Say below. We love when we see hearts. We love Cameraman Ken just looks for those hearts going across there. So anyway, we're here with Cameraman Ken, Harold, me, reporter Roy, 580 Club in Bancroft, saying don't get married, libraries, and figure out that water situation, Bancroft. Bye for now.